Alright, we continue on with Chapter 8 issue areas for the Unit 2 exam. And a lot of the problems I saw that you guys having difficulty with is the markup based on price versus the markup based on cost. There weren't too many issues on contribution margin since it is fairly simple in your selling price minus your variable cost and the break-even point of your fixed cost divided by your contribution margin. So you didn't have many issues with that. It's more separating out the based on cost versus the based on price. So we're going to look at a couple questions at the end of the chapter problems. I'll be on page 223. We're going to look at number 1. It says HP laptop costs $700 and the markup percent is 30%. What's interesting here is it says find the dollar markup and the selling price for the following. So what we're going to do is we know our formula. Our selling price is our cost plus our markup. Well, we said the cost was $700 and the markup was 30%. And so when we plug that into the formula, we actually have just 210 plus 700. So our selling price should equal 910. And that is because our selling price is what we were searching for. Our cost was $700. Our markup was 30%. So our selling price is $910. If we look at number 7, and this one was based on cost. That's what it said at the very beginning. Now if we look on based on price, so we go to number 7, we're going to have the same formula. Selling price is equal to cost plus markup, but we're going to do a little something different here in our equation because we don't know what the selling price is based off of the selling price. So our selling price is equal to cost plus markup. And so it says our selling price is 1,000. So 1,000 equals our cost, which we need to figure out, and our markup percent. So we don't know our cost, but we know the markup was 0.45, because that's what they said the markup was, times our selling price. So it's 450. We have to subtract that from each side to get it by itself. So cost is equal to 550. Okay, now both of these have checks. The check is for the based on price, the check is cost is equal to selling price times 1 minus the markup. So if we did the check, cost should equal to 1,000 times 1 minus 0.45. So that would be 0.55 times 1,000. Cost is equal to 550, which is what we came up with. Now over here, if we did the check, cost is equal to selling price. So 910 divided by 1.30. So if I put that into my calculator, gives us our cost of 700, which we had given to us. So there's different ways that you can do checks to make sure that you're actually calculating the right thing. Let's go to number 16. This is a perishable question, and it says that we had 20 brownies that cost 79 cents a piece. So what's our total cost? Well, 20 brownies times 79 cents. I do the math. It's going to be $15.80 is what we paid for those brownies. The markup on cost, which is important, of 60%. So we have a 60% markup on cost. So what is our total selling price? Well, our total selling price is equal to total markup plus total cost. Well, we know our cost of $15.80. We know that our markup is 60% of our cost. So 15 80 times 0.6, which is 9.48, so $9.48 is our markup. So our total sales is where you add these together, and you get 25.28 is our total markup, or is our total selling price. So if we wanted to figure out what the per unit basis would be, is, well, we have 20 brownies is what we bought, but it said 10% would spoil. So 10% of 20 is 2. So 2 would spoil, so we'd have a total of 20 brownies possible. So we have 18 brownies. So what we'd do is we'd take that 25.28 divided by 18, and it'd give us a price after calculating of $1.40 per brownie. So that's how we can do perishables. Last one is we're going to do number 23. It asks for both selling price as well as based on cost. So we're going to do them both. And so we're going to start with based on selling price. So we have the same formula. Selling price is cost plus markup. It just depends on what we do with it, depending on what it wants. So since it wants cost, let's figure it out. So Ben is buying opals, and he's actually selling opals too. So Ben pays $150 for a shipment of opals. So it cost him $150, and he wants a markup of 75%. So if we do this based on cost, so this is going to be our cost one, what would we do? Well, we have our selling price is equal to cost plus markup. So if we did it this way, our cost is $150 plus our markup of $150 times our cost. And so that's going to be $112.50, right? And the reason I know it's this way is because we want it based off of cost. So our markup is going to be based off of cost. So added our 150. So this should equal 262.50. Okay, so what if we want it based on selling price? So based on selling price, it's the same formula, but our markup is going to be based on the selling price, not on the cost. So the cost is still 150. The markup, though, is going to be based off of our selling price, which we don't know. So we have to get rid of our 0.75 selling price. Crosses that out, minus 0.75, which actually gives us 0.25 selling price equals 150. Divide both by 0.25. So our selling price based off the selling price is equal to $600, which is a big difference when it's based off of cost. So Ben here would probably want to sell the opals based off of selling price compared to based off of cost. So just be cognizant of what it's asking for. Is it based on cost? Is it based on price? If so, that's going to determine how you manipulate and use the format of the formula. Good luck on the Unit 2 exam. If you have any questions, email me, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks. Enjoy.